Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to install a banner, hopefully from our store or not, but it'll be applicable to any banners or even any stickers that you want to apply to your car. So I'm going to be putting one of our Super Sparkle banners on here. Here's the stuff you'll need: some basic masking tape, got a few squeegees here with the felt. So we'll actually give you one of these for free if you order any of our banners online. So I'll ship that with the banner. Clean rags, always coming handy. And I've got some metho to clean with beforehand. You're also going to need a really sharp knife. So make sure you have one of them so you can get the edges really clean. And here is my banner I'm going to install, one of our new ones with the rainbow sparkle. So I set them all up, pre-measured with some little helpful guides for you, so it makes it a little bit easier to install. Center mark, there's our design. So let's get it mocked up. Might as well show you guys the new daily quickly. So here she is, Crown Royal Saloon. Supercharger down there. So start off with your metho and a nice clean rag, and give it all a wipe down. Make sure you get the edges really good. And I even like to go below and above it with this, so when you're taping off it doesn't come off. Make sure you get right in the corners, because you don't want them to lift all the way in this edge up the top, so you can push it in later. And I even clean the side windows a little bit as well for the tape. Give the whole thing a squeege down, make sure the app tape is sticking really well to the material. This will help you later on when you peel it back to apply it. This one's a bit crinkled because I've been moving it around with our stools, so ignore that. Firstly, you want to get a rough idea of where center is, or pretty precise right here. So probably get a tape measure. I'm just going to use a piece of tape to mark center with a pen. Alright, so we've made a center mark here. Looks pretty good. You can see it's pretty well in the middle of the mirror there as well. That should work out well. Just give us a guide of where to place it. Fingerprints here, so we'll get them off again. Using the center mark that I mark out on all our products to make it a bit easier to place. Then we've just got to work out how much distance we want on here, which we can use these marks for as well. So I'm going to bring it right up so it's our thin style, because or else we don't have coverage on the corners. So that's what you want to check over here. Or else there's some people that actually cut it and then add the extra bit up here, so have a bit of a triangle fill in the gap, which you can do as well. Also, a thing to be careful of is make sure you've got it tight when you're doing everything, so make sure it's centered and in the right spot. You don't want to start placing it halfway and then realize you're not in the right position. Then I've also got these third marks here, which you can check your height on here to make sure it's not tilted at all. So you can just push down and check how high you are. So I'm going to bring this up to the 130 mark on here, then pull it across to make sure it's flat before I tape it down. So then again on this side, up to 130. So you can see on the little marks here on the dots. Pull it tight so there's no bubbles. A little bit of tape to hold it down while we get it ready. Then we can inspect our work, have a look what we think. It's one of the points where it really helps to have someone to pull it tight with you. Makes it a lot quicker to line up. Double checking everything and making sure all this tape is in the right spot. I'm going to put some bigger bits on to hold it down. Now the way we like to apply our stickers on large stuff is tape all the way across the center, like that. Make sure it's really well down because you're going to be pulling up on it. And we like to do a few pieces. Like that. So this is where you're going to want your squeegee and your knife. And this is how we're going to apply it. We're going to peel up from the edge, checking how it's going to lay once it's flat. And we want to peel off the backing paper, not the app tape which is on the front. So the backing paper. Well up to that tape line. Another spot where it helps have a friend to hold that for you. Cut the backing paper. Then, starting from the center, pulling tight, you're going to apply the main area where the logo is, or your main details, and then squeeze all the air from the center outwards, while also stretching to keep it tight. Now you can also use a credit card instead of this. It's also useful, but as I said, if you're ordering from us, we'll give you one of these for free for your order. But these simple rules will apply to any banner install. Just gonna get the air out, and then what you can also do, once you've got it down fairly well, peel off the app tape. And what this will allow you to do, if you've got a heat gun, possibly a hairdryer, you can heat it and stretch the material and get it down to where you want. If we take that off, now you can see, especially using the felt side on the material so you don't scratch it. Now we can apply it deep into the crevices where we couldn't before. And what you want to do is peel it up off your edges and get it right in there, so that way you won't have any gaps. So peeling up and placing it underneath the edge. Then what I'll do is get some heat and come back across, and then I'll come through with my knife and clean up right into the edge. This is just to guide us while we're placing it down, but now that we've got half of it down, it won't move. You can keep some guides on there if you want, but you shouldn't really need them. Now peeling from the center out, making sure you don't lose any details off your design. This way's a bit easier than the first half. We're just going to place it flat like that. This would really help to get this going. If you have any errors, you can usually peel it back up like that. The best thing to do is just get that flat where your design is. That's the most important bit, and then after that, it's a lot easier to place what you want. Now you can see here I've crinkled it. With any high quality material, got to pull that straight out and it'll go flat like that. Or else if you can't get it flat, a little bit of heat will pop that straight back. So we can lift that. And keeping it straight, we can just use the flat edge on this. See, we've crinkled it again, but that's all right. Just lift it up. Now yours will come with tape all the way across. I just peeled this off to show people while we were at our market stalls, so yours will be fully covered and protected by the app tape ready to go on. Now I'm starting at the bottom to keep that edge straight because I don't have tape on it. And then going up to the top. It's quite a warm day here, so it's also quite malleable already. Which is good and bad. Makes it a little bit more flexible, but also makes it move a bit more. There we go, it's the basis down. Now we can peel up the tape and get back to these edges after. Let's have a look. I like to pull it flat like this so it doesn't lift up any of the edges. Now, if you have any air bubbles like we've gotten over here, you can just squeeze them out. It should come straight out with this kind of material, or else you can get a bit of heat as well and put it through. But pretty much all of our banners are, the air will come straight out of. So now we can just go up, clean up this top edge. You can see the air just comes straight out. So I've just purchased this little bad boy, a Zito heat gun. Only like 50 bucks from Bunnings. We use this one all the time on signage and car installs for wraps, so it works plenty well for what it is. So I'm gonna give it a bit of a heat first before we go and cut it all down. And when you heat it, you'll be able to see if you've got any air bubbles as well or any problem areas. And you'll also be able to get your edges in a bit easier because it'll stretch in. It's good to wear a soft little glove when you do this, or else have your squeegee ready with the felt on it. And also you can use the sharp edge a little bit better to get in the tight crevices like in there. Make sure you get it all the way to the seal. Make sure you get the letters down really well because they're the small areas with the sharp edges. I like to go over them with my hand to check it's all down properly. Make sure none of it's going to lift up. Now, especially these edges around here are where you're going to mess it up. So you want to make sure they're all the way in when you cut them, or else it's going to drop down and you're going to have a gap. If you're able to remove your seals or something, it would be easy to get a clean finish, but for us, we're just applying this one how it is. So I've got a small crease here, so I'm going to take the heat gun and just give it a little bit of heat, and you'll see the actual crease will come straight out, and then we can apply it back down. There's a little bit of a tricky spot. Just make sure you get it in all the directions it needs to go. Stretching it, lift that up, and then get it right under that edge because this has quite a overhanging lip here. You can see no more crease, so that's all good now. Then just keep going with that top edge, make sure it's all the way up, and give it another heat once it's down. Now's the scary bit. There's two ways to do this. If you're really good with your knife, running it along that edge, being careful of your paint obviously and the actual rubber because you don't want to cut it off. So you run that like this. Another technique is to actually run this along with the blade so it'll keep it flat and in the groove. So just maybe try beforehand on the spare piece, see what works for you. It's a good idea with your blade. Snap the end off whenever you're doing something important like this. And don't lose that either. Put it in the bin, be safe. Remember, if you go high, you can always come lower. So if you want to be careful, cut a bit higher than where you need it. These types of materials will have minimal shrinkage, but always a possibility for it to drop in a little bit off the edge. And we'll see once we've cut it. Just following the groove makes it pretty easy. That's just edges it'll be hard to get into. But there's actually a rubber in there so I can follow along that. Just taking my time. So I've already done the prep work of getting it right to the edge. It's easy to cut because I know where to go. There we go, nicely cut. What I did with this tape before, just slightly under there, so make sure that all comes out and you get that bit down flat if there was anything under it. Then I'll go back with that and push down all the edges as well. Check they're all nice and clean, especially this corner's really bad. It's hard to get in there, but I've managed to cut it pretty clean, so I'm happy with that. It's actually pretty good. Last step is just to check over it all, get some heat on it, make sure it's all down really nice, purpose of going over it with heat a couple times is to get the actual glue to sink into it, or get the glue to set, and then actually to change the shape of the actual sticker material. Especially make sure you go along the edges, make sure that's all down again after you've cut it, because it could lift up a little bit. So I'm just going over it again with this. And that's it. All done.